So, this is Season 3, Episode 1 of the hit web series Job Hunters. This is unreleased and unedited and unvetted and unapproved. It's also not canon.
Yeah, that
What? So this is a hypothetical what could have been.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Say this is not saying this will be filmed. This
Yes.
is
One of
just,
like 8 ideas of what could have been.
this. Yes.
Yeah.
Fan fiction, if you will.
Right.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Alright, Liz, take us away.
Interior, a forgotten pawn shop. A shopkeep sits bored behind a dusty front counter, watching a TV mounted across the room. Used knickknacks pepper the warped wooden shelves along the walls, the layer of dust belying both his concern and frequency of customers. People don't come to this part of town for the wares. They come here for the special lines of business he runs on the side.
MAEWIN executives confirmed that worldwide joblessness is down another 3 basis points this year for the 5th straight year, the longest consecutive reduction since MAEWIN's inception 51 years ago.
The door opens and a cloaked figure enters, his face cast in shadow. He steps up to the front table, but the shopkeep doesn't take his eyes off the TV. The cloaked figure drops a heavy sack on the countertop. With a sigh, the shopkeep turns down the TV and lazily sorts through the contents. It's a variety of high-tech looking gear.
Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the tragedy at Safe House 7049, which exploded following a malfunctioning gas main. The detonation took the lives of all 177 occupants and has shut down all 7 series safe houses for emergency maintenance that continues to this day.
This is all outdated. You used to bring me good stuff. Losing your edge.
The shopkeep drops a sack full of coins on the countertop. He goes back to focusing on the TV.
35 credits.
The deal was 65.
The deal was you bring me stuff I can sell. I can't sell junk.
Having finished the debate, the shopkeep turns up the TV again. A press conference is shown.
Please know that I feel the pain of the families the tragedy touched, and I mourn for my own son killed in the explosion.
You don't know how tough it's getting that stuff now. There's patrols from...
That was MAEWIN Executive Director Anthony Clawfield, whose son Maxwell Clawfield, one of the victims in the failed gas main.
Max is shown on screen. The shopkeep frowns a bit, then finally looks over for the cloaked figure, who left in a hurry. The wind blows in from the street outside.
Also lost was the grandson of former MAEWIN Chief Medical Technician Walter Monroe.
The shopkeep mutes the TV, then picks up a phone.
Hey, Slick. I think I've got a tip for you and your boys.
Cut to exterior Black Market City Street. The cloaked figure draws up his hood and slides into foot traffic, walking away from the camera as it cranes up over a busy pedestrian street. Alley vendors sell wares, food, and more illicit fare. The cloaked figure gets further and further as we crane up, until they're lost in the bustle of the crowd. We continue craning up until we see the city skyline. Turning towards the sky as the music swells, we cut to Job Hunters, Season 3 opening sequence. Interior firehouse entryway. A stream of light through dust as Max opens the front door to the abandoned firehouse with a creak. We see him in silhouette look around for anyone following him before shutting the decrepit door closed with a solid thud. There's darkness as Max walks down the hall, his feet lightly padding in the dirt and detritus, whoever called this home before his group. A whir as 2 oval eyes light up the darkness. With a burst of speed, a robot draws itself up to full 10 feet height.
Intruder!
The robot shifts its weight, sending a heavy fist with surprising speed at Max's fleshy body. Max deftly dives out of the way, leaving only his cloak where he once stood to be pounded into the concrete floor. The robot shakes the now torn cloak off its fist.
Intruder, surrender to death!
The robot rears back to swing a fist again, but with a clap of gunfire, it looks down to its chest, a hole where its heart should be. Max reholsters his familiar revolver, still smoking, in a sling looped under his arm. The robot powers down, and the room lights come up. Interior firehouse common room. We're in the same place, but the room is much larger than it appeared with the lights off. It's the lobby and garage of an old firehouse, complete with fire pole from the second floor. A grand, dusty staircase leads down from the main floor. Devin, frantic, takes the steps down 2 at a time. Devin rushes towards Max and the robot.
Max, you didn't have to shoot him!
Devin, dressed in overalls and a white shirt covered in oil stains, checks over the robot with a mothering hand. Devin pops open a panel with a small tool hanging from his belt and tries to assess the damage.
He swung at me first, said I'm an intruder in my own place where we live in.
He just hasn't...
He just hasn't met you yet. I'm sure you two will get along. You didn't have to shoot him.
Not my fault.
It is your fault. Where have you been? It's been over a week.
Max drops a lumpy bag on a nearby table.
Gathering supplies. It's getting tougher to turn in scrap. People aren't buying.
Avery comes thumping down the stairs, a bundle of energy dressed in drab clothing pinned in her rendition of fashionable haute couture.
Max, you're home.
She runs up and gives him a big hug and kiss on the mouth.
Miss me?
Did you shoot Chuckles?
You named him Chuckles?
You know, he's been a very good guard for when you haven't been around. I'm going to need a particular PPU to replace the one you shot off.
Yeah, and you should throw some armor on him too. Maybe around the bullet-catching areas?
Max, Devin's been working really hard on him.
Fine, I'll pick up the parts next time I'm out.
Tiffany walks in. She looks the same as ever, hair in perfect place, and despite the general dusty nature of the fire station around them, she appears to be in pressed, perfect clothes.
Max, is that you?
Max smiles as Tiffany runs up and hugs him.
How'd it go?
It's getting riskier. One of the regular shopkeepers started asking too many questions, so that's the last I'll see him. Might make some of your more specialty stuff hard to find until I can get a different source, Devin.
Max hands Devin a strange metal object with cabling running out of it.
This isn't right.
I know. That's what I said to my guy, too. He said you can overclock it to do the same thing.
Right, but that means I'll need to go to dissipate the heat, which I'm not equipped for. Maybe I can just use the circuitry to splice it and without the core... Next time, stick to the list.
All right. But if anyone can cobble something together, it's you. And as for you...
Max pulls some clothing scraps out of his bag, handing them to Avery. She looks delighted.
Some of the finest materials credits can buy. Or maybe it's just junk I picked up, but I figured you could sort it out.
It's perfect. I've been working on a sundress that you're gonna love. This should be plenty of fabric for your hips.
Tiffany is rummaging through the remainder of the bag, pulling out foodstuffs. She looks a bit disheartened as she pulls out the final items.
What is it, Tiff?
Nothing. It's fine.
Max slides up to her, pulling a foil-wrapped container out of his pocket.
Looking for this?
He hands it over to an excited Tiffany.
Chocolate? You found some? You're the best.
She gives Max a tremendous hug, then rushes off to the kitchen.
Hot chocolate for everyone!
How much did that cost?
Worth it.
Max, let me show you my new designs. In the bedroom.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Devin rolls his eyes as they rush upstairs together. Cut to...
Uh-oh.
Interior Max and Avery's room.
Oh!
The room is a mess, quite frankly. There are scraps of everything from leather to dinner scattered around the room. It doesn't seem like Avery has time to pick up after herself. Avery holds up a scrap of something.
This is the first stages of an evening gown.
The piece of frayed lace wouldn't cover a hamster, let alone defend the dignity of the high-end clientele Avery sought. It was certainly an improvement on her older works not long ago. She was trying to pass off single buttons as stylish rain jackets.
It looks...
Max trails off, not sure what to say. He hopes for a miracle, like a surprise meteor strike or fire. A good spontaneous fire would be sufficiently distracting.
Good? You think they look good?
Yes.
Max decides a 3-letter lie was better than the alternatives racing through his mind. He still secretly wishes for a meteor strike.
I know this one still needs work, but I don't have the necessary tools. You understand?
Avery holds up a lace strip of cloth that could be equally equipped as underwear or hair tie.
It's a dress.
Avery appears to believe stating it aloud will bend the forces of reality to her will. It does not.
Good. I like that.
Max is increasingly emboldened by his effective lies.
What do you like best about it?
Max freezes with an unhappy smile on his face.
I like the...
It was still possible a fire would start. It wouldn't need to be something big, just big enough to cause a commotion so he could slip down the stairs and into the night off into a new life. He would probably be a street vendor. Yeah, that would be safe. They're rarely asked their opinion.
Can we cut the small talk?
Max snaps back to reality as Avery forcefully kisses him on the mouth. Clothes are rapidly shed and they frantically knock boots.
Wow.
Yeah!
As they up the rating to PG-13, we pan down past the bed, through the floor and into the room below.
Non-canonical!
Cut to interior Devin's room. We pan through the ceiling, which starts drifting dust through the room from thumping above. Devin, frustrated but used to it, dons a pair of old-style headphones to drown out the noise, swiveling in his chair to a console covered in dusty switches. The machine powers on, and we hear a burst of static. Devin depresses a heavy button and speaks into a microphone.
This is the doctor. How's the air tonight?
Hey, Doc. We've been keeping it warm for you. Keeping out of trouble?
Best I can. Sometimes trouble just finds its way home.
Something in the air tonight. Trouble, I can smell it.
All quiet around here.
Another thump from above sends dust across Devin's desk.
Mostly.
A familiar voice comes over the headset.
Greetings, Doctor. I hope the evening finds you well.
Conrad, good to hear from you. What's the word from the inside the system?
Murmurings from the populace. A discontent hangs over the arena. I can't speak for trouble, but there's certainly change in the air.
City folk are getting restless. They don't like talking about it, but black market activity's picking up.
Fewer and fewer are reporting to the arena.
A new voice enters the conversation.
You didn't hear from me, but MAEWIN hasn't had a full set of recruits in her since the incident last year.
Hercules, good to hear from you. Don't normally find you on this channel.
Good to hear your voice, Doctor.
The door opens and and Tiffany enters with hot cocoa.
Hey, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to disturb you, Doctor.
Tiffany sets down a tray of cocoa and Devin pulls off his headphones.
It's all right. Mic's off, and thanks for the cocoa.
Gotta go get some to Max and Avery while it's still hot.
We hear thumping through the thin ceiling.
Maybe give them a bit of time to get settled in.
Do you want to read the directional note?
Totally not understanding sexual relations.
Thank you.
But then it'll be cold. We call it hot cocoa for a reason, Devin.
Really not wanting to explain the birds and the bees.
Well, oh no, Tiffany. This is. Sorry. Well, oh no, Tiffany. This is way too few marshmallows for Max. You know how he likes it. You can't bring it to him like this.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I'll get more right away.
Tiffany exits back to the kitchen. Devin puts his headset back on and presses the button.
Folks, keep your eyes peeled out there and stay safe. This is the doctor. Signing off.
This is the doctor!
This is the doctor signing out.
Doctor, can I have a word?
Shoot.
You still looking for that brunette gal with the eyes on her?
You saw her?
Devin scrambles to grab a notebook and pen, ready to take notes.
Not me, but one of the boys at the recruitment center said he spotted some security footage about 2 weeks back. Looked like she was grabbing tapes out in St. Louis.
St. Louis? And was she caught?
No, I told him I'd file it and there was no need to report to anyone further. Secret stops here.
Thank you, Hercules. If we ever get the chance, I'd like to buy you a drink sometime.
Oh. There's a lot of days between then and now, Doctor. Have a good evening. Hercules out.
Oh. Devin takes off his headset and finishes his journal note. The camera follows him to the wall behind his radio, where he places a red pin in St. Louis on a map. Pictures of Paige dot the continental U.S., red string tying them together with various sightings relayed to Devin through his network. Devin traces his fingers over the lines in his journal, dates and times where Paige has been sighted. We rack focus to behind him, where a bounty hunter silently exits the shadows in the room. Quickly and efficiently, a rag is shoved into Devin's mouth, and the bounty hunter easily overpowers him.
I'm sorry.
Butcher is secured.
El Butcher. Interior Max and Avery's room. Max and Avery are post-activities, casually lying in bed with the sheets drawn up. The door bursts open and 3 bounty hunters burst in, immediately overpowering the couple and dragging them out to the door.
Primary target white lilac secured. Got a bonus somebody too.
Cut 2. Which one is white lilac?
Me, obviously.
Interior firehouse common room. The 4 bounty hunters drag Devin, Avery, and Max down into the common room. Max is wearing just his iconic briefs, and Avery is in a tasteful undergarment. We're going PG-13, not rated R, folks. All 3 are tossed to the center of the room, gagged.
Nice. Sebastian was right on his tip for once. You two are gonna fetch us a stack of credits.
The bounty hunter motions to another hunter.
Radio Slick and let him know we had to track White Lilac about a mile past where he dropped us out. We're ready for extraction.
Slick stares at bounty hunter blankly.
Slick, you gonna radio?
Slick gurgles and then stiffens. His eyes roll into the back of his head and he wilts to the floor with a thud. Another bounty hunter feels his neck snap and he drops to the ground, dead. A spark of orange light and a crescent of blood appears on the wall in a single color rainbow. A translucent form can just be caught out of the corner of the viewer's eye. Snap! Gurgle, thump. The last of the bounty hunters collapses amid the stunned group of our heroes. With a rush of wind, we see a woman decloak. The camera draws up to her, revealing a confident-looking Paige. Paige is dressed in garb similar to her mother's old fare and sports a hand axe with a blade made of nothing but an orange glow. She presses a button and it retracts, folding into itself. Tiffany enters, having been totally oblivious to the goings-on.
Hot cocoa for everyone!
Tiffany looks around at the heaps of dead bodies.
I'm going to need more mugs.
Paige frees Devin himself from the bonds and gag.
Paige, it's been a year. Where have you been?
We're together now, Devin, and there's a lot I have to tell you.
Oh, come on!
The music swells and fade to black.